Hello, welcome to my channel, Fibromyalgia Sucks. Hello there. So I hope you all had a good weekend. I'm perfectly aware that I'm late with this video. There's a very good reason. My fibromyalgia fitness did not work very well. As I suspected, I became quite ill over the weekend. On Saturday, I felt, as I expected, to feel pretty achy. On Sunday, it was very up and down. However, on Monday, when I was expecting to get up and get out and start the exercising again, I was in fact crippled, completely 100% crippled. I ended up being in bed quite a lot, laying on the sofa a lot, maximum painkillers, and as I suspected, sore throat and mouth ulcers, which is why I sound a bit rough right now and why I've not been able to get in front of the camera until now. Yes, I look like shit. Yes, you probably can't see that I look like shit because I look like shit all of the time, but I feel completely like a bomb's gone off inside. Every joint's tightened up and everything. It happens with me. When I push myself and try to push myself too far, I get to that point where the body just says enough's enough, and then the sore throat and the mouth ulcers come. It happens every time, I can guarantee it. I just wanted to see how long it would take this time. I expected it to happen, truth be told, on the Wednesday, Thursday last week. It didn't come at that point. I managed to sort of exercise from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Didn't exercise on Saturday, but on Sunday we managed to get out for a nice walk, even though I felt like shit, which is again back to that motivation that I spoke about before, that you can push through it. My wife was off. We don't have very many family days, so I was in fact the one to drag the family out. My wife, Cecilia, didn't want to. Sebastian and Colin didn't want to, but yeah, I managed to get everybody out and we went for not a long walk. It was about, I think, about an hour and 3 or 4 kilometres. It was around Sabar. They were supposed to have a festa and we were a little bit early, so we came back early and having missed that. If this video is stopping and starting, I don't usually do that. I just let it run, and if I make a cock up, which is frequent, I usually just run with it, but my mind is scrambled at the minute, so if there's lots of stopping and starting during the editing, I apologise, but there's for good reason. So, conclusions for the fibromyalgia fitness. Can you push through the pain? Can you push through with motivation alone? Can you push through the pain? That's an easy one to answer because I did it several times last week, especially on the Sunday as I just explained. Yes, you can. If your desire's enough, you can push through it, but when your body's telling you no with fibromyalgia, the good thing to do, the logical thing to do is to listen to it, which is something that I have learned, but I wanted to see how far I could push myself on this test. And it makes a lot of sense to listen to it, and if you are tired, if you are in extreme pain, go to bed, relax, because it's better for you in the long run. Then you don't obviously have the problems of collapsing like what I've done. That's the same to say for the motivation part of it. There were a couple of days last week, and certainly at the weekend, where I didn't feel like doing anything, let alone make a video, because it's not just the making the video, it's the editing afterwards. It's then having to be creative late at night, which is quite difficult. It's a bit I've been struggling with most, the late night editing, but you can push through it. But the question at the back of my mind, because it's been bugging me a lot lately, is can I find enough motivation and push through enough to get back to work? Obviously not full time, but with fibromyalgia, can we do it? Can we, with mind and willpower alone, can we push through that barrier and get back to work? Now obviously I'm just talking about myself right now, not you guys, but it may, some of my somebody just fired some fireworks outside, middle of the day, sunny as hell. There's no chance of you seeing it, but they still do it. Amazes me. My experiences may translate over to your experiences in your life. I don't think in my current condition I could get back to work. I want to. I desperately want to. But work for me would have to be very much like what these videos are being for me, as and when I have the energy and the time and the motivation to do it. It's one of those things that if you worked for an employer, you'd be having to call them up every 5 minutes and say, I'm sorry, I can't make it in today. And there's no employers on the planet that would accept that. There's just not. You know, there needs to be some charity for those with chronic illnesses, ME, MS, you know, with the people that still want to work, they still want to do their part, they still want to earn some money for their family, that the employer understands this. It's almost like that employee is an extra employee, but being funded by either the charity or the company's big enough to be able to absorb that loss. It's not for lazy people that just don't want to bloody go to work but want to get the cash. It'd be nice to have a charity that understood those that have the desire and the will to do so. I was even searching this morning, funnily enough, about that to see if there's any charities out there that do it, and there's a couple of independents that have tried to do it, but one of them that seemed to be getting the most traction, it turns out that their last post was 2016 for their charity of getting people with chronic illnesses and chronic pain to get back to work. It's something that I'd love to do. I'd love to sort of get something set up and help people get back to work. And that in itself would be giving me work. So, you know, that would be good. Obviously, can't do it for free. I could do it for free, but, you know, at the end of the day, we're all here to try and earn some money. Certainly for my family, we certainly need it right now. It'd be nice if some companies out there, some of the bigger companies, the Microsofts and the Apples and those sort of companies would set some money aside for charities, that the money would be solely to be used to pay for people's wages, so that person can then go to any company that they wish. They can pick and choose what, you know, even if it's a hobby of theirs, a flower shop or a drone company, or, you know, radio controlled stuff, or well, whatever they're into as a hobby. Just go to this company and say, right, listen, my wages are being paid for by this charity. I would like to come and work for free for you. The only caveat there is that I can only come when I can make it. If I don't make it, there are no promises here. And I don't see why there aren't any companies out there that'd be willing to do that. I'll look into it. I'll see what I can get on. Idea. But getting back to the fibromyalgia fitness, when you push too far, like what I've done, I've done far too much this last week. It just gets to that point where your body says, it shuts down and says enough's enough, and that of course causes more illnesses and more pain, and you then take more painkillers that has their own sort of side effects that cause more issues. Fibromyalgia fitness is more about maintaining and reacting to your body. It's not something that you could do like, I'll train Monday, Wednesday and Friday and sort of do it at this time, at that. You just can't do it with fibromyalgia. The best thing that you can do is listen to your body literally on a minute by minute basis. And the thing that I've been saying a lot lately to my wife is, don't put off until tomorrow what I can do today. And that's so true with fibromyalgia. If you've got the energy to do it today, if you've got the motivation to do it today, because more than likely you'll feel like shit tomorrow. And that's life in general. I think it's life for anybody without a chronic illness, but certainly for us with the illness, you know, you have to just do it if you have the motivation. And then another thing about not pushing yourself too far. If you're laid in bed and you're still in pain, but you're feeling guilty about not being up and out and doing the cleaning or the shopping or something, well, don't push yourself. Don't try too hard too quickly, because all you're going to do is force yourself back into bed. You have to pace yourselves. You have to listen to your body. That is without a shadow of a doubt. That's something that I have learned, but these last week, I was hoping to get to at least 2 or 3 weeks before I collapsed, but I got to barely a week and collapsed. It's just reacting to your body. I know for sure how far I can push my body now, and I know that I need to listen to my body. There are times when I try to overrule it, like I'm feeling like crap laid in bed and my family want to go to the beach, and I'm like, I'd like to go to the beach. Probably shouldn't. And of course we go to the beach, I don't really have a great time. I come home and then I collapse because I feel like shit. Listen to your frickin' body. That's simple with fibromyalgia. I could get into the debate about medicines and other ways of fixing it. You've got your own methods. You've got your vitamins, your minerals, your fish oils, your acupuncture, massage, and all of that. Well, I've tried a lot of it, and it's not made one bit of difference for me. But if it helps you, if it gets you out of bed, I've always said to my doctor, I don't care what's written on the box of the medicine. If it gets me out of bed, that's the main goal here. That's all I want, is to get out of bed, to not have to lay in the bed and to not be the victim of the bed, to be able to get out and take part in life. The next step, of course, is to find a way of getting back to work, and that's my main goal here. I have to earn some money so that my wife can even just reduce to 80%, to give her a break. She needs it, bless her cotton socks. Of course, the other benefits of that is you can then play with your kids more. You can do more sort of family orientated things. My kids have been doing without for so long, for so many things. They've not been able to go to the cinema that often, or they want to go to a trampoline park and we can't afford it. I mean, for the last couple of years, they've not even had a birthday party because it falls right in the middle of the summer, and then we've got things like car insurance and all of that malarkey, and we just don't get round to it. I mean, they get their presents and they have their party at home. I'm talking about inviting friends to an event and whatnot, and it's embarrassing. I just had an incident at the hospital. I thought I was going for a ultrasound on my private parts because there's some lumps, and thought it was going to cost €50. It cost me €60. I'm like, all right, fair enough. And it was a referral to the ultrasound, not the ultrasound itself. And the ultrasound itself was going to cost 115. Can't afford it. Saved up for 3 months to get the 50 together. And it's those sort of things that you're talking about your health here. And again, it's back to that fibromyalgia symptom checker. Is that I've been putting these additional symptoms off as it's a fibromyalgia symptom, and of course now I can clearly see it's not. Fibromyalgia destroying in ways that you wouldn't even imagine. This can't be a fun video. I'm feeling crappy, I'm sweating like a bitch, I should be laid in bed, shouldn't be making a video, but I wanted to just update you guys. You've been so nice to me. I've seen that I've now got over 2,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I can't believe that you guys are willing on listening to me, but maybe there's a little bit of information in my videos that will help you guys. Maybe there's some stuff, more importantly, that you don't need to do that I've done that will cause you pain or more agony, or maybe there's something there that will give you the motivation to get out and do something. I hope so, because I do know that exercise does help with the fibromyalgia. It's just in moderation, and it has to be sort of across. I can't believe I've gone from 80-90 kilometres walking for sort of before the boys were on school holiday, and now they're on school holiday. It's like 8 and 12. And of course that's just down to the schedule. They're having to get up with them, they're having to get them to school, pick them up. It sort of forces you to get up and get out, and I so miss that. That's one thing with fibromyalgia that I am enjoying, is enjoying fibromyalgia, that was the wrong words to use, wasn't it? Fuck's sake. Is the schedule. That's what's helping me, is even now during the school holidays I've been getting up at 6:30 still at the same time. so that when it comes to the school starting again, I'm not going to have that shock to my system and having to get used to it again. One thing with fibromyalgia that I have noticed and discussed with my wife as well is that it seems to be that I'm in these periods of coping, so I can just about cope until she has a day off, and then I get sick, sore throat or something like that during that day, or that, you know, she's just been on holiday a couple of times, and, you know, I'm then sick during that period, and it seems to be that my body can hold together for those periods until she's off, and then because she's at home and she can look after the kids and look after the house, I then go into cripple mode, which is probably body recovery mode. Then when she gets back to work, I'm able to get myself up and get going again. I thought again that was a motivation thing, but I don't think it is. I think it is literally that my body's holding together just until that point where she's at home, and then and then I fall apart. So I assume that's what the summer holidays are about. My body falls apart during this period. And then when the boys are back at school, then I pick myself up and probably get back to the walking and everything as well. So again, within moderation. So I hope you guys are doing well, that you had a better weekend than me, and that you haven't pushed yourselves too far. It's a funny old illness, isn't it? Disease, illness. What do you call that? Syndrome? It's an illness, yeah. There's two videos that I wanted to do. The one I explained on my last video about the bullying of fibromyalgia patients, which is still pissing me off now. And there's a second one that Cecilia and myself have been talking about doing. It's something that means a lot to me, is her support with my illness. And there's a lot of people out there that don't get the support from their partners because their partners don't quite understand it. So we feel that maybe doing a video about that could shine some light. We're not perfect, but maybe it will help a partner of a fibromyalgia sufferer out there to understand, or maybe to process, or even for that matter, freaking believe in their partner and their partner's illness. But I don't know when they're coming, and I don't know when I have future videos coming as well, unfortunately. I just need to get myself back to 50% health, and then I'll be up and out again. You take care of yourselves. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.